just have a connection to your student athlete. Always talk and give them an open forum. I'm just sitting here watching her. I'm like almost like a proud uncle, daddy, because I've been with her so long and I've watched her grow up.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I have the opportunity of having an incredible young woman come on our show today. She is a Division I basketball player, and she's going to share her misery and triumphs of playing Division I college basketball. She played high school here locally at Oregon City, and last year she was the freshman of the year at the University of New Mexico. This is a special treat because this is one of Leland's athletes that he's been training since the 3rd or 4th grade. You know, it's not going to be an intro into this. We're just going to dive right into this episode. Tell me how you know Leland.
I've known Leland ever since I moved to Oregon. So that was about like 3rd grade year. And I was playing basketball at like Terry Pritchard's little camping. And he had seen me because I was off to the side just working alone. And so he just approached my grandma, asked who I was and all this, and told her to come to one of his clinics. So that's how I started with him. So ever since then, I've been working with him.
What was the difference between you training with Leland and the other camp or people that you were training with before?
He was actually focused on me, and there was actually people there to push me. So he would have me working with like Jazz and then Bonton and all of them. So I was actually getting the experience that I needed rather than just being with a group of girls that didn't know how to dribble a ball.
Right. I like that. How so up until now, how long have y'all been knowing each other? How many years?
What is that like? I'm 19 now, so it's like 14 years. Dude, I don't know. I can't do math. Since you about how many years? 10 years.
About 10 years since you were like 8 or 9?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, I know what was high school basketball like for you? I know you played out here in Oregon. Tell us what school you went to.
I went to Oregon City High School. I started all my years. I was on varsity all 4 years, but I didn't start my freshman year. So I didn't start my freshman year, and then I didn't play my sophomore year, but then my junior and senior year, I started. And then it was I won state my freshman year, and then we were runner-up junior and senior year.
Right. I know. In the past, that's been a basketball powerhouse. And yes. I know that that offers some opportunity for you. So from what I understand, you spent your freshman year, which was last year. Was it New Mexico University or New Mexico State University?
University of New Mexico.
Okay, so you spent your first year at the University of New Mexico. What were some of your accomplishments there?
I got a pick for freshman of the year. And I started all 36 games. I averaged 30 to 35 minutes a game. Let's see, I averaged, 12 points a game? It was like 12.2 points a game, two or three steals per game.
You know, you had some tremendous accomplishments your freshman year. One of the things I want you to explain to the audience, especially for the female basketball athlete that might be listening, what are some things that you didn't know about college basketball or college life that you didn't realize until you got there, things that no matter what anybody says that you don't learn until you get there or you have that experience?
I would say get in the gym all the time. Even when you have about 2 or 3 practices a day or whatever, you have to get in the gym at night because they'll keep the gym open for you at any time when they'll have a code and you can just get in. So it's just be doing that and not letting, because the coaches will try to get in your head to try to make you do things. It's just not listening to them. and go about it your own way, and not let them dictate what you do in the game, basically.
Well, so would you feel that pre-preparation is important, like preparation
Yes.
in high school?
Yes, very much.
How important do you feel it is?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a 10, because especially for Oregon basketball, I don't think they prepare you a lot for college basketball, mid-major, high major, whatever it is. They don't.
So outside of your experience and where you are now, and when you say preparation, be more specific. What would you tell a young high school girl basketball athlete that's listening right now? What else should they add to their repertoire as far as like getting prepared for the college game, as far as like training or things that they should be doing?
Ball handling, working on a lot of ball handling, because the girls are very strong in college basketball. So if they knock you on your wrist or whatever, and you don't have good ball handling, that ball is going the opposite way. Getting lots of shots up. Like here, we have to make 300 to 500 shots a day, and so that'll help you on your game too.
Now you mentioned being strong. How would you consider that in terms of like physical strength, as far as like strength training? What role does that play from the high school to the collegiate level?
They do not focus on strength, like lifting weights in high school at all. At Oregon City, we didn't go to the weight room enough. We didn't, because like I said, the girls are very physical. They're gonna push you around. They're gonna try to knock you down and stuff like that. So having upper body strength and leg strength is a key to make you stable when you're going up for a shot or rebound or whatever.
Now let me hold on, Lee. I'm about to bring you in right now.
Okay.
Slow down. So how was working with Leland? How did like you training and working with Leland? Tell me about that, as far as that getting you to the next level and putting you in a position to overcome some early obstacles or preparation. What role did Leland play in your preparation for the college game?
A lot. I feel like if I didn't have him, I would have been even more. Like I came in great shape, but if I didn't have him in that aspect, I don't think I probably would have made it through they call it 3 months of hell in college basketball for summer. So like him, he put bands around us, make us do about 15 up and backs. And if you ask him how many more, he gonna make you do more. Or like we have to run on the track, do sand workouts, do all types of things. Not even in like the weight room. Like I don't even think the weight room is a big thing for him. He finds everything outside, body weight, anything, just to get you strong.
Tell me about some of them sand workouts.
We're getting the medicine ball, having it go, doing all types of things in the sand. Feet be burning, sand particles in your shoes, doing laps around, whatever.
I want to kind of change lanes and go down a different route, because you had a great high school career, had a tremendous first year in college, and one day Leland calls me and he told me that you decided to transfer. Why did you decide to transfer? Because
I didn't think I was given the opportunity to play my type of basketball at UNM. Even though I started, even though I got the stats that I did, they just looked at me just as to go to the basket. They didn't want me to shoot any shots. They didn't want me to do any of this. And then letting the coach get to my mental was a big part too.
So you felt like they were changing you to be a certain type of player.
Yes.
And not didn't give you a chance to develop as a complete player. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Now, listening to this, Leland and India, I definitely want you to comment on this, because I would say some of this, it definitely has to go back to recruiting. When you get told that, okay, we're going to play you this way, and then when you can wind up at a university and it's completely different, where they kind of sell you to come and they tell you like everything that you want to hear.
Right. Yes, very much. They told me I was supposed to be a PG. I was going to be a the PG spot. I was going to be running the team and everything like that.
When you say PG, you mean point guard?
Yes, a point guard. And so then when I got there, in practices, I was the point guard. I would switch off with the other point guard all the time. And then in games, he'll only put me at the 2. He wouldn't let me run point guard, any of that, even though I would spend about however long it takes to get to the next game or whatever as a point guard in practice.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bay Area company Millennium Edge Apparel, an athletic apparel company that manufactures clothing for basketball, golf, soccer, regular workouts, and even restaurant staff members. To learn more, visit millenniumedgeapparel.com. And now, back to the show. So how would you have looked at that situation if they would have explained up front, we're recruiting you to be a 2, we feel like you could be a really good 2? How would you have responded to that situation?
Well, I think I could play 1, 2, or 3, but my natural position is a point guard. So
would you, if they would have explained to you up front that you were going to be a 2, would you have went to that school? Would it have been your first?
I don't think so.
So, I think this is really good because for the sports parent, if you're listening to this, you have to do your due diligence as far as like doing research on a particular school to see how many point guards they have, how many number 2s they have, really looking into a coach's eye as far as where they tell you your son or daughter is going to play. And I know, Leland, you especially, excuse me, you're big on the recruiting thing and really talking to coaches and being assertive and almost aggressive to a point as far as like what you want, being upfront and seeing if that matches up, when you're looking into a recruiter or a head coach's eye. Could you speak to that?
Yeah. I talked to Indy about it, but I think when, and you have to understand, you're about to get a chance of your lifetime. So you don't want nobody blowing your chance of your lifetime. So before, I think when I used to tell her, hey, let me talk to recruiters for you so that we make sure you get in the right place. I think for her, it was a fear that, she knows I'm a direct person and she didn't want that being direct to affect her situation. But I think after she talked to Jazz, and even Jazz felt this way also, but when we got into the second recruiting cycle, when he went to Nevada, he saw how I went about dealing with the different coaches and how straightforward I was. And it put him in a position, one thing it did is there was a great deal of respect between the parent and the coach. And I feel like every athlete should have that person on their side that are going to ask questions that nobody else is going to answer or ask. It's in Jazz's situation, and I'm pretty sure she'll tell you, they always give you this line: we're going to take care of you like you're one of our own. We're going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you like you're my daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take care of you like you're my son. And my question to the Jazz recruiters was, how can you take care of 12 kids when it's hard taking care of one? Those are the questions that you have to be straightforward with. Those are the questions that you want answers to. And on this go around, we're going to make sure that she's in the place that she's going to be for the next 3 years. So we're going to ask those questions up front.
So you decided to transfer, India. Where are you at right now?
I'm at South Plains College in Texas.
What is that, a junior college or something?
Yes, it's a JUCO. It's one of the top JUCOs. They're in the top 10, I believe, this year.
I was talking to Leland about a week or so ago, and he was telling me that you're already being recruited by other schools. What are some of the schools that are recruiting you right now?
I got Butler University, South Florida, Alabama, Washington State, LSU, Seton Hall, Texas Tech, what else was it? Pittsburgh, USC.
Okay, so let us take us to the inside a little bit. So, are you going to play this year at a JUCO, or just go there half the year without playing and then transfer to a university this winter, or play your sophomore season at a junior college or red shirt, or what?
My plan right now is do the full year, but if I get the offer that I need, then I'm going to take it. Because we have a jamboree coming up soon on October 13th, where like over 300 college coaches is going to be there.
Okay, so you could leave after this fall term is up?
Yes.
You know, and then what does that have you doing? Like, so would you go to another school, and are you eligible to play, or would you just have to sit out, or you play like up to a certain amount of? I know with college football you can play up to 4 games now and still red shirt. So
Yeah.
is it like that in basketball?
Yes, it's the same thing, but so it depends on this tournament how everything will go, because those don't count to our 4 actual games.
They don't?
No, they don't.
Okay. Leland, what do you think about our current situation and the jamboree coming up? And, you know, she listed like a wish list for some high school athletes as far as the schools that are recruiting her now. What's your take on the current situation?
As long as her approach is the right, as long as she has the right approach, this won't hurt her at all. Because I know when they see what I see in her, they'll be even more intrigued to have her in the program. I think it's more about her getting in a situation where they can accept who she is as a player now and understand where she wants to develop and where she wants to go. And if they're full 100% behind her mission, then that's the place where she should go, you know.
How far you want to take basketball, India?
I want to go to the WNBA. Or overseas, or do both, whatever. My main goal is the WNBA.
I heard that. Leland, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
India.
Yes.
Going a little further on, talk about how, because remember we had a conversation, and when I start talking to you again, you were at the point where you said you lost the love.
Mm-hmm.
You said you lost your love. Explain to us what you meant by you lost your love for the game, and if you have an idea, can you tell some of the things that kind of put you in that frame of mind? Some of the actual things that happened to put you in that frame of mind.
There'd just be like practices where the coach would be getting on me and calling me all types of names and like that. That would just make me look like that I wasn't a good basketball player. And even though they were saying it was just that he cared about me or whatever, it still didn't seem like it. I only saw my head coach once a day, and I'll be at practice, and then I'll never see him again. So
go ahead.
Oh, so I was just saying, like, it even seemed like I had a good relationship with him, where I could even talk to him about anything that was going on in my life. At the moment, I had a lot of things going on with my mom and stuff like that. And I didn't feel like I couldn't even talk to my coach about it. I only had my grandma and my best friend. And sometimes I didn't even want to bother my grandma because she's dealing with back pains and all this stuff and surgeries. So I didn't want to bother her late at night with what was my troubles. But she could always see, because she knows the type of basketball player I am and how I can get on the court and everything like that. But like I said, even though I was doing all these stats, I know I could do more.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because we went a while, I figured myself as like a mentor to you throughout high school.
Yes.
And I think you accepted me at that, because we would have dealings with each other for a while. Then I probably wouldn't see you for a month, and then we deal with each other again, and then you go back to this, because we stayed in different areas.
Right.
What I did love about you is I never asked for you to involve me in any of your recruiting or anything that you did as far as transitioning from high school to college. Mm-hmm. And you would always call me, or you would always grab your grandmother to call me. Mm-hmm. And even when you committed to University of New Mexico, I remember me being at the signing day, and I was so happy for you. I was so happy for you. Can you kind of explain explain the mentality once you got into that mind state, and the coach was, you felt like I don't see a way out in this. Did he make himself available for you to talk to? And it sounds like that you had no one that was really concerned about your well-being. So can you kind of expand on that a little bit? And could you have initiated? Do you think you could have initiated something to kind of to make that relationship what you wanted it to be?
I feel like I tried, because we would have practices at like 11 or something like that, and I would always go in there and talk to all my coaches and stuff like that. Like if I had a coach be there at 12, then I would be there at like 11:20 just to come in and talk to them. So I feel like I gave all my effort into being there and trying to talk to them, but it wasn't. I guess they're just different personalities, and they didn't match mine.
Y'all come back real quick.
So would you say having a mentor at that point in time, because again, we had lost connection once you got into school. Do you think having a mentor, somebody that you know that you could pick up the phone and go, hey, this is what I'm going through. Do you think that's important to have for a college? You think that's important for a college athlete to have?
Yes, because there really be them practices that go real hard, and you don't know if you can even go to the next one. So just having somebody there to push you and tell you that things going to be fine, and even having because when you think about something, you have your mind set on something, that just another ear to tell you just to calm down and look at a different perspective gets you a lot. I didn't have that. I only had my ear just telling me, just talking to me and telling me to go one way.
Well, I'm going to say one more thing, because we recently worked out on your stay when you came back before you went to Texas. Mm-hmm. I really felt during that time, even though we had our connection since you was in the third grade, I think we really connected more. Mm-hmm. And the weird thing about you is we connect when I tend to let you go and be free. Mm-hmm. We don't connect when I hover over you and I go, what are you doing? Right. Where you going? Where you going to be? We don't connect. But I think now we know each other better. And I'm a Gemini, so you know that there's going to be that phase of me that's going to go, what the hell you doing? What you doing? Yeah. No. But there's always going to be that. There's also going to be that phase of me that'll step away and allow you to be free and make your decisions. And on this, just to talk to, now this is for you, Deshaun. The beautiful thing is we connected. She picked up the phone and she was like, hey, so-and-so and so-and-so is getting ready to call you. So I want you to be ready so you can talk to him and question him so we can get this thing done. I was taken aback by that, babe. And it told me that you grew up, and it told me too that experience at the University of New Mexico was one that you felt that, I think that was one time you seen basketball was threatened. Mm-hmm. and you loved the game so much you didn't want to take it away. So we're gonna knock this out. We're gonna get you in the right situation, and when you get in that situation, I have no doubt that the WNBA will be your carrot that you can obtain.
Yes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, we're talking about fear. We're definitely talking about hardship. We're talking about overcoming difficult situations, dealing with people that can definitely appear to be difficult if you've never been in a situation like that. We're talking about the power of staying focused. We're talking about goal setting and visualizations and doing the right things to get what you want, but also having faith in yourself to believe and trust in a mentor, having faith in yourself to make a transition or to change your scenery when you feel that is appropriate for you and believe it in yourself. And these are all things that we work through in the Sports Mastery Workbook. That's the Science of Sports Mastery, Psychokinetics. So India is speaking a lot to this. If you're a sports parent, this is a workbook that you must work through with the athlete. You have to work through this with your student athlete. That is what brings it to life. Listening to these situations is what brings it to life. Now, as we get into the fourth quarter, if you're a sports parent, if you're listening to this, you can definitely see from the recruiting standpoint, you can't be just happy. It isn't look at the attention that I'm getting right now, because it's a lot deeper than that. You're putting yourself in a position to get a $200,000 or $300,000 education, but there's, it's also entertainment. You're also dealing with egos. You're dealing with power. People, and I've heard that there's been scenarios, and I won't speak to this, but allegedly some coaches, men coaches, at certain basketball schools referring to female athletes as bitches during practices. I ain't gonna name no names, but how do you react to situations like that? And that's when you still can't get emotional. You have to learn how to step back, look at the situation and the circumstance, and then make a move. If you feel like you're being disrespected. So these things do happen. There is a dirty side. There's an ugly side to college sports, whether you're playing football, baseball, basketball, whether you're a man or a woman, you're swimming or a gymnast. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on. I really appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably heard some background noise. It looks like she's on campus in the dormitory. She's been walking around from the gym, classrooms. I done seen people walk by, other teammates, But before we close out, India, I mean, is there, if there's a senior female basketball athlete that you want to say something to right now in order for her to be successful on the court and in life, what would you say to her?
Just stay focused on everything in the classroom, especially, because if you don't get the books or studying done, you can't produce on the court.
Right.
That's been my biggest downfall. I can be at top right now. It's just me getting focused and knowing that studying and basketball is the only thing I need to do. And this is what I'm doing right now. I don't do anything besides study and basketball, because I know where I want to go is the next level. So you don't ever think that you need to give up. If you need to call that person to help you, just do it. Just stay focused.
The Sports Mastery Workbook was created for the student athlete and the parent to work through together. The Sports Mastery Workbook was created for the student athlete and the coach to work through together. It was created in a sense and in a way to bridge the gap in communication between these parties and build a successful relationship dynamic. To learn more, visit sportsmastery.com/workbook or check out the show notes page and click on the link.